It is stressful watching C dramas and like BLC dramas because you never know if China's going to shut it down. Hi, welcome back.
Hello.
Do you watch Charlotte Dubray? That's her intro. She goes, "Hi, welcome back, everybody." I love her videos.
She's a new one for me. I've not.
She does like Reddits and stuff like that. I love watching her videos because her commentary on them is so funny.
Well, first things first, we got a new camera. So for those of you who might be looking at this video and being like, "What's going on with the brightness on this?" I'm trying to figure it out. Okay. New camera, new adjustments, but it's going to hopefully be brighter and nicer and higher video quality.
Hopefully that's the goal, so we'll see.
We can actually see ourselves as we're recording now.
I know, there's no stress of the video stopping and not knowing that it stopped.
That too. I was getting sick and tired of going in the editing and then just having those points where there's just a black bar for a couple of seconds where nothing's there unless I can put something over it, because this one should just record the whole video in one go.
Should. Let's hope.
We're going to figure it out as we do.
Yep. So, what is today's topic?
Well, I know you wanted to talk about some Chinese dramas that you had been watching here recently.
It's not just Chinese dramas, it's just dramas in general. So, Thai dramas and Chinese ones too. I haven't watched any UK dramas. Okay. Well, I have. But it was more like a rewatch, kind of like a comfort thing. Mm-hmm. Because I watched the Japanese adaptation to it. So I was like, let me just rewatch the first one to get back into the groove of it. Which what I'm starting to learn with adaptations is that either they get shorter or longer than the first
source material.
Yeah. But going off the topic of adaptations, the one that I just finished, because it just finished Tuesday. It was sad. I mean, no, it was good, but it's sad that it's ended. So it actually is from a 2015 adaptation, and that was only 8 episodes.
Oh, okay.
It was Counterattack. It was 2015 Counterattack, and it was the very first like C drama that I watched. And I went, China's doing that? I'm interested, right? It was only 8 episodes. They made another one called Revenge Love. That's 24 episodes. So they went the opposite direction. Instead of it being short, they went long. They followed more of the novel, because in Counterattack it stops right when they get together and it's like kumbaya at the end, right? This one, yes, they stretched out. They gave more detail in between of them getting together, and they finally got together. They showed us what happened after they got together and the trials that they had to deal with after getting together, meaning psycho crazy exes coming back into the picture and dealing with his parents finally, accepting him for who he is. And then dealing with going to jail and seeing if their love can stand the test of time. It literally ended with him getting out of prison. He wasn't in prison. He was in jail in a holding cell. But still, I wanted to find out, which I clocked it. I can't remember which episode it was, but I clocked it when I was watching the episode. Their accountant guy came in there and he goes, "Oh, what's the way usually signs for this, but he's not here. Can you sign for it?" And so because his boyfriend at the time, his boyfriend is, worried about him, he just goes, "Okay, yeah," and just signs. He goes, "I trust you." And I was like, no, don't trust him. For some reason, the episodes leading up to that, I just never trusted that accountant. I never trusted that assistant or accountant, but I never trusted him.
Healthy skepticism is a good thing.
I know, but I was like, but I couldn't figure out why. I was like, why don't I like this guy? I was like, something about you, is very, and it was really good. It's very subtle how they emphasize, like they were showing him or something. Like, I don't know why I just clocked that.
Was
something
it very charismatic?
It was just, just gung ho and for the team and always there. And he's the one that, he's the one handling basically the money. And he's like, here's the account stuff.
That's why right there. I know it's a trope, but that's exactly why, because the characters that are
smooth, like you wouldn't have seen it coming at all. But like I watched and I was just like something, because at first I was like, I hope you're not a problem.
I guess I've just been conditioned to immediately assume that the most charismatic one, or the most energetic one, the most happy-go-lucky one, what have you, it's going to be the one that's going to be the villain in the end. It's just been used a lot.
But it's so subtle you wouldn't have thought it. But for some reason, that particular, and I only really, it's like hit home for me, it was in that particular moment. Because I believe his mom, they had just finally technically kind of like got back together, because they had broken up and got back together, and then his mom passed. And so he's dealing with grieving his mom. And so the boyfriend, he is like, I want to take him away, like for a weekend, try to get his mind off of it, try to get him cheered back up. And so he was like just doing paperwork, like I'm trying to finish this up. And so when he came in, he goes, "Well, the general manager, which is his boyfriend, they started the business together. He usually signs for this, but he's out because he's grieving, and so he goes, "Can you sign for it?" And so he looks at it, he just kind of glances through it, and then just signs. And he goes, "You trust? Did you look over it? Did accountant?" And he goes, "Yeah, accountant looked over it too." And he goes, "Well, I trust you that the numbers are right." And I was like, something about that whole thing I didn't like. And so I was like, I feel like you should have taken your time and really read those documents before putting your signature on it.
Signed something away, didn't you?
Yeah, so yeah. And so what ends up happening, because again, it was outside out of mind, we don't think about it, we're all kumbaya, everything is great now. He's starting to slowly recover from losing his mom. He finally got his boyfriend back after their little breakup because they lied. He lied to him. He lied to him and said he never loved him because he thought that he still loved his ex. And so he was basically letting him go to go back to his ex, even though he was hurting himself. So he lied. And technically, the boyfriend knew that he lied, but he was just like, okay, fine, then I never liked you anyway. I hate you, right?
That's an extreme
as they do
approach.
To try to like hurt each other, type thing. But he was like, but he literally told me, he goes, even though you've lied to me this entire time, if at one point, at any point in all this, because it's been over a year they've been together, he said, at any point in time did you ever care for me? And he goes, no. And I'm just like, why are you lying? But he said that because he thought he still had feelings for his ex, because like I said, the ex was crazy and came back after 6 years and made it seem like they were still cool. And I'm like, what do you mean you're not still cool? Y'all are not still cool. But he left without any closure. And so Ji Chung, which was the boyfriend, he just wanted closure. Like, why did you leave? That's all he wanted to know. Like, I don't love you. I don't care for you anymore. I just want to know what was the reason. Like, why did you sleep with my best friend? Why did you do that? Right? Like, I want answers. Nobody got answers. He just wanted the closure for that. Now, me as a viewer saying, I don't give a dang about the closure. He needs to go because he's too mushy with y'all. Like, as if he didn't just break your friendship up with your best friend since childhood and y'all's trust in y'all's relationship. Right? So he ends up kissing him, and then Wusaway sees it. And of course, him being him, instead of him just approaching it, he gets in his car, cries, and be like, oh, he's really seeing his ex, And you can kind of tell the difference in their relationship, because when Ji Chung thought that Wusaway was cheating on him, like he saw his silhouette, he actually approached him to like confront the situation. And it turns out Wusaway was just making a big, because he likes snakes. He was making a big one. He was trying to surprise him with it. And so you see the difference. He went and approached the situation. Was like, let me bust you. Like, I'm not going to just think about it or whatever. Whereas Wusaway, when he saw them kiss, he was just like, okay, that's just cut clean and dry. That you're doing that. Me personally, I would have approached them. I would have hit him. I would have hit him. I would have approached them right then and there. There's no, because Ji Chung didn't know that, seeing all this. So I was like, you know what? Couldn't have been me. We'd have approached at that moment in time. And not to mention, the crazy ex approached him and was talking, because he knew who he was. Like, approached him, talked to him. They were hanging out. I'm like, y'all are doing too much for me. Why are y'all hanging out with each other?
So he was clinging?
Yeah, well, he brought his, we later on find out that that's his stepbrother. They're not actually blood related. But his stepbrother, him and the ex and the stepbrother, I'm not even going to mention their names, but they come back into town. Right? And the stepbrother is kind of just like, or the brother, his stepbrother is kind of just like, dude, you've been gone for 6 years. Why are you basically stirring the pot? Like, what are we doing? So he doesn't really stop him from being a manipulative little turd. But he's kind of just looking at him going, like, what are we doing? Like, why are you doing this? Like, and then he gets mad at his stepbrother because the stepbrother starts becoming friends with Wusaway. So he's like, you're becoming friends with the enemy, and how are you going to do this to me? And he's just kind of just like, he's not a bad person. I'm not doing anything wrong. He's not doing anything wrong, and vice versa. So it goes really into depth of their relationship and like the parallels for me, because I thought I was like, where Ji Chung approached the situation to see if you were cheating, you ran away, and you didn't actually talk about it. You didn't actually tell him why, at the time. It took, unfortunately, his mother passing for you two to actually get back together after they broke up, and that kind of spanned like over 2 months. You know how they do like the little time lapse and everything? Yes. They did that, so it was about like 2 months, I believe they said in the novel, that they were apart, and then they got back together the day of the funeral. So yeah, but the mother, I think in the end, she knew that they were together because it was just, this is my friend from work. This was just my friend from work, right? But during the New Year's party, she literally said, "You can stay over. Y'all can share the bed. There's plenty of room to roll around." And her son choked. He went, like, "What do you mean? Like, what are you talking about?" And then you see Chichang, he goes, "Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." Like he's like, "Bet I just got permission from your mom." Like, mom gave permission, and so because he comes from a wealthy family,
right?
But he's not close to his family because his parents is very much, you need to marry a young girl and grandkids.
A wealthy family.
Not so much as a wealthy, but just they wanted him to marry already.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah, it wasn't so much as if they had to come from wealth. It's just
they want. Which is surprising because that's usually a common theme. Is if you're going to marry into wealth so that we can come up in the world.
No, they already kind of
we're up there in the upper.
They're already upper crust.
Okay.
And so what because he has a sister. Chichang has a sister. She was mostly like, she's a gold digger. Oh. Mom was like, I just want him to marry somebody. So the sister was kind of like, I want my brother happy and marry for love. This girl's a gold digger. She's lying. And mom's kind of just like, she's a sweet girl. She's not, like, I don't care. I just want him to marry a woman. That's what I want. Right. And then at the close to the end, it's like mom and dad get shocked that he's dating a man. Sir, ma'am, y'all knew this entire time that he was dating a man. What are you talking about? Mm-hmm. So that particular scene kind of threw me off. So I'm like, didn't you already know? At least the dad knew. I don't think mom, seen not heard type of situation.
Yeah.
But so one of the episodes, the dad actually kidnaps him, and he goes, "Do you know who I am?" He goes, "Father-in-law." And
知道我是谁吗？老丈人。
And the music behind it went. I'm like, now you're making this comedic.
You may as well.
Like, you're making this comedic. It was so funny because he was like, "Do you know who I am?" Trying to be all mysterious because he has him tied up, and he goes, "Father-in-law." Because it's like, I'm with your son. I'm not. We're not. We've gone through too much, sir, for you to think that we're gonna break up or anything.
Right.
But so at the end, it ends happy. He gets out of prison. I keep saying prison. He was in jail because again, that accountant, Woo Seo-wei finds him and beats the snot out of him. And I love that they put that in the show. I'm skipping around because, like, if you want to go watch, I'm not trying to do play by play, whatever.
Right. That would be no fun then at that point.
Yeah, and so there's 4 characters, right? There's Chichang, there's Chingyu, there's the doctor Shui, and then there's Woo Seo-wei. So these 2 are friends. They met because he got hurt, and so he owns a clinic. So that's how they met.
Gotcha.
These 2 are best friends, but X sleeps with best friend. So we've been told.
Gotcha.
So we've been told. We've been led to believe this entire time. But Woo Seo-wei, again, when X comes back into play, he goes, he loves me, and da-da-da. And Woo Seo-wei's like, yeah, well, he actually told me he loves me. And as long as he does da-da-da-da-da, I don't give a crap. Like, what you're saying is you're past, I'm present, and I'm his future as well, basically. So he would always tell him, like, he still loves me. And so, again, with little...
jealous ex-lover stuff then.
I told you crazy because you've been gone for 6 years. You broke them up. Turns out he broke them up because he wanted, literally, if you watch the dynamic when that ex comes back, he just wants all of Chichang's attention on him. Like, best friend, I don't care. Like, get rid of the best friend. I just want you focused on me. And so his brother, which we've later found out stepbrother, his brother basically telling him, he goes, you can't accept nice things. He said when mom gave us like a candy and broke it in half, you had a smaller piece, I had a bigger piece. You caused a fit because I had the bigger piece and I breaking it off, and it still was never good enough to you until neither one of us had it. So he was like, you can't, you destroy everything. You can't be happy with what you have. You just constantly basically just destroy it and just make, misery. Like, you just thrive in it, apparently. If it's not for you, if you can't have it, no one can have it, basically, is what the brother was boiling it down to.
Well, I can tell you I wouldn't watch this one just because there's snakes in it. Nope.
It's not snakes all the time. It's just certain scenes.
Okay.
So I will tell you the first episode, I think, when they introduced him, I think it's the first episode, It was like a snake fight. So if you want to skip that part, but it's not like snakes galore throughout the whole thing. Pretty
That's
much
the thing,
after
I'm
they
even
get close.
scared of just images of snakes.
Really?
Yes, really.
So there's some scenes you'll probably have to skip, but not a lot. Like it's not the beginning when the scheming happens. Yes, there's a lot of snakes because it was always trying to, what do you like? I like. Oh, look at that. I'm interested in this. Oh, look at that. You're into this too. Hey, like type thing. So, but after that, the snakes kind of ebb off. It's just for the plot. You know, we do it for the plot. And so everything's for the plot. And so their relationship was based off of that. So that's what kept him and the ex together, right? That was their bond. The snakes was, you know, his way of still being connected to his ex, even if his ex wasn't there, right? So, and then of course, best friend, same thing. He has a snake farm. He's raising snakes and stuff like that too. So even though they're not friends anymore, his best friend still sees him as a dear friend to him. And so they become rivals, right? They're rivals, but when you see them actually fighting each other, they never actually land a punch. They literally get like right here and
so they're
stops.
friendly rivals then.
Pretty much, yeah. Because I mean, like they grew up together. They were basically, you know, brothers, and so and neither one of them really had answers as to what happened that night. Like I'm waking up being told that I slept with your boyfriend. Like, what do you, huh? So like, there's gaps, and the only person who knows disappeared for 6 years, right?
Right.
So it's like he walks in, sees this, and the other one wakes up and sees this and going, huh? They started, and again, it was literally like when he started making amends with his best friend, like really truly making amends with him. And he's getting into another relationship. The best friend got into a relationship finally because he had to fight for that, literally. Again, I want to read the novel because that beat down for that ex was beautiful. And it wasn't just him. In the novel, people were saying that it was all three of them. It was Wusaway, Chitong, and Qingyu fighting the ex for the doctor because of what that scummy psychopath did to him when they were in college. They said all of them got on him. But in the show, it was only the doctor and his henchmen. So I liked it for what it was, but it's called Revenge Love and Counterattack. But the reason why it's called what it's called is because Wusaway's character was dating a girl, right? She wanted money. He didn't come for money, right? So she breaks up with him to date this other guy, which he plays a part later on, apparently. Like if you watch it, you'll understand. He plays a part in it. But what's so crazy is every time Wusaway would run into, I think her name was Yeye. It's like Y-U-E. The ex would pop out, like her boyfriend, the current boyfriend at the time, would hit him. I'm like, why are you assaulting this man in public? He just talking to her. He can't even be in the same vicinity. And the last time he hit him, he like made like, I don't know what he hit him on the head with. It's like a brick or a rock or something. And so he tells him, you know, how can I get her back? Because he was going to propose to her. But she broke up with him before all of that because, you know, he doesn't wine and dine her. He doesn't take her to these fancy places or buy her these fancy things when he can't afford it. And so he goes to the doctor and asks, how do I get her back? How do I win her back? Right? Because they've been together for 3 years. You see the correlation with these exes?
Yes, I do.
And so the doctor, he goes, well, first of all, you need to clean yourself up. You kind of look hobo-ish a little bit. You need to clean yourself up. And so he does, and they do the whole montage, and I'm like, you've been exercising and then it cuts, I think it was only for like 3 days, a week or something. And I'm like,
and he's already just 6-pack abs and
just back to slim. Like he only had like a beard, like a pudge. So right, so it's not like a lot to work off. And I'm just like, y'all trolling with that little montage because
that ain't how that works.
That's how they do in shows, though, right? Absolutely. So I was like, y'all trolling a little bit. And then he meets her when he got slapped in the head with the brick, and he goes, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this. Like I need to, you know, get over her, and I need to just make some money because he wanted to, you know, be a good son and get back to his mom and like help her and everything back home. And so that's when he meets the main character, which later on turned out to be his boyfriend, Chichung. So dad threatens him and says, if you don't come and work at the company, I'm going to get rid of all your precious babies, meaning those snakes. Because the house that he lived in, it was really hot because snakes have to live in like warm climates. Yeah. And so the mom never visited because one, she's scared of snakes, and two, it's always hot in his house because he has all these dang old reptiles. Yeah. And so
I don't like being in a hot house.
Yeah. And so he threatens him, basically said, if you don't come and work for me or come back to work for me, then like get rid of your, because he bred snakes, like rare snakes, right? Exotic snakes. If you don't stop doing that and come back to work for me, I'm going to get rid of your snakes, right? So he stole his snakes, hid them away, and so now he's forced to work for his dad, even though he doesn't want nothing to do with his dad. or their family, because Richie snobby, he's kind of just like, there's a disconnect between us, but then again later on you find out that the dad wants that connection back with him, but he just the gap, like how do I bridge that? And so it's kind of like a slow, like a silent type of love, because you see snippets of like Chin-Chong doing stuff for his dad but not saying anything, right? He's just like, there's that, and then just kind of goes about his thing, because he does love his parents. It's just kind of like that, just that disconnect there for them. He loves his snakes more, and what they made it point of saying, like, he likes snakes more than he likes humans, whereas his friend Chinyu, who also breeds snakes, he understands that this is just an animal, that he ends up here, and then the snakes was here, and then all of a sudden he was getting them. He goes, I know he did that all just for me to break up with my girlfriend, because he was tired of me basically being with her instead of being with him. Come to find out, that girlfriend is Yaya, because she broke up with the other guy when she saw him, because one, he was younger looking and better looking, and he had more money.
Well, this is all coming full circles at this point, isn't it?
And reason why Usui started doing the whole revenge thing, the title of the show, is because he thought that Chi-Chung was harassing him, because her first boyfriend, that's all he did. Every time he saw him, he harassed him. And so every time he kept running into Chi-Chung, every time any job, like little side hustles he was trying to do, he got shut down because of him. But he wasn't. He just happened to be there every time that those incidents happened. He had nothing to do with him happened upon dating her. And he's only dating her to get his parents to shut up and get off his back. He don't care about the girl. He don't. But he's like, you know what, to satisfy y'all, sure, whatever. I'm not dating anyone. I don't plan on dating anyone. Love is an illusion. My ex-boyfriend disappeared on me 6 years ago. That type of vibe. She's like, just do whatever. I just want to
be burned out. I don't care anymore. I give up whatever. Just do your own thing sort of vibe.
Yeah, and only thing he cared about was his snake. So he didn't care about, that. And then Wusui's like, oh, you're doing this to me because you're dating her, so she clearly told you about me, and now you're tormenting me. So you know what? I'm going to break y'all up. Hence the plot.
Right.
And so he did everything in his power to get close to him, to break them up. And it got to a point where he started feeling bad, because when he found out, he was like, oh, wait, I just read into that more than I needed to. You weren't actually trying to sabotage me. It just sort of happened that way with everything. But then she calls his phone, but she got his phone from Chi-Chung's phone. Like the phone number. And he finds out, oh, you never had my number saved, or else you'd have realized that was my number. And so she calls it, and she goes, oh, why are you becoming friends with my boyfriend? And you're trying to tell him about it. You're trying to break us up. And he goes, no, what are you talking about? I never mentioned you, because obvious reasons. I never mentioned you to him. Have you mentioned him to me? And then, of course, she goes off and saying, you're nothing, you're this, that, and the third. And he goes, you know what? Bet. They hang up. He goes, forget it. I'm not telling him nothing. I'm full circle. I'm breaking them apart. I'm breaking them up. And then, of course, you do that for so long, you end up starting liking the person, which happens. So there's comedic elements to it. There's a lot of...
There's a lot of drama going on.
There's a lot of drama, but it's so sequenced, because the first half of it is just him trying to break up his ex and Chi-Chung, trying to break them up. But everything that he's doing, even his friend that works in the clinic is like, you're doing a lot of extra underneath. Are you sure you're not falling for him too while you're up here? He goes, no, I just want to break them up. Denial. And the friend knows, because he's like, okay, sure. When you realize it, sure. Which, by the way, he found out the guy that works the clinic is gay. And so that's why he calls him master, because he's like, teach me how to seduce men. He goes, you want me to teach you? You're like, all right, my student, let me. And then they make a whole plot, like a whole board and everything on what the steps to take. And so it gets to the point where the doctor, he's like, the two best friends are in love with each other. They have to be, because why are they all, and then Wusui's like, no, he, me, him, you, like, don't read too much in this. Just because he's claiming he's not interested in you, that's a lie. We all know it's a lie. It's a lie. But it ends on a happy note. I really liked it. I'm just sad that it ended, because episode 24 aired this Tuesday, and it ended on a happy note with him getting out of jail, because the accountant that I mentioned earlier turned himself in. He had no choice, because Wusui was like, either you tell the truth or you're not leaving this clinic alive, which again kind of should go against the doctor's code of ethics of not purposely murdering,
Yeah.
Well,
But
they threatened him good enough, framed him, which technically it should have been Wusaway that got framed. Because if it had been his signature on there, he would have been the one who got arrested. But since he was out grieving with his mother, Chi-Chung signed on it. And so then, of course, his parents blamed Wusaway. It was like, he's never lacked money, so he only started this trap because of you, which does not help someone's guilt at all. Like, he knows very much that it should have possibly been him. Because if he'd have signed it, he would have been the one in jail. But I liked seeing that little unhinged moment when he beat the crap out of that guy because he deserved it for what he did.
So, question. Is this just the end of the season or is this the end of the series? Series. Okay. Yeah. So 24 episodes was the entirety of the series.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Like I said, it's the continuous adaptation basically of Counterattack, which Counterattack was only 8 episodes and it stopped once the plotting and everything, because eventually everything comes to light. Mm-hmm. He finds out that you started this to break me up from your girlfriend. But Chi-Chung thinks that he still likes his girlfriend, right? And then now Wusaway thinks that he still likes his ex. So it's just all big, horrible misunderstanding that was so stressful to watch. It was so stressful to watch.
Is each episode like an hour or something?
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah, the wonderful, wonderful 45 minutes to an hour, depending on which episode it is.
How's the pacing?
Nice. It's not rushed, but it's not like, it doesn't drag either. It kind of does one of those like fades out and goes to another scene. So like there's probably something that happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, but it's trivial usually.
Yeah, and then we go on to the next cutscene.
Kind of like we skip past the travel part where they walk to wherever sort of thing.
Yeah, because it's kind of like one of those like you had a phone call and you go, huh? And then it fades out and then we're on the next scene. Like it's one of those.
Gotcha. Okay, so we're definitely talking like soap opera style stuff a little bit.
Yeah, which I've kind of gotten used to seeing with a lot of C-dramas. Yeah. They do that. They tend to do that a lot. At least the ones that I've seen. It's like a trope for them. But other than that, it's really good. I really want to find the novel to read it because there's so much more detail, obviously, in it. Because it's C-drama, so you know they're going to censor. They censor everything. So the fact that we got what we got is a blessing.
Because it was less censored than usual?
Yes. Right? Yeah. Well, it wasn't a bromance. They always turn them into bromances.
Oh, I see.
This is a full-blown, now this is my man. My man, my man, my man. They don't do that. There's usually censored to heaven and back. So I think, I don't know if it was filmed in actual China. I think it was filmed in Taiwan. I could be wrong on that. But that kind of gives them just a little bit more freedom.
Yeah.
To film how they film, which brings me to...
It would make sense for it to be filmed in Taiwan. I think either Taiwan or Thailand, one of the two.
No, Thailand, Thailand is full of BLs.
Yeah, they were like the first to fully accept like gay.
It's now legal marriage now in Thailand.
Yeah,
I was so happy to see that because I've seen so many dramas where they was like, well, we can't get married, right? Or they have the ring, but it's not official.
Yeah,
and now it's legalized, and so now even when they do their dramas, they're actually signing the paper into like the full on thing. I'm like, I'm so happy because gay people are real. I don't know why people think it's just fictional. Those who actually live in it can actually get married now in their country instead of having to come to the U.S. or wherever to do it. Because some have done that earlier on before it was legal. They would come to the U.S. to get married legally. So that's Revenge Love. I know I jumped around a lot, but I was trying not to give too much detail in it.
I think it's better that you did jump around, though, because if you just told everything verbatim, then no one's going to want to watch it.
Yeah, and I don't want to do that. And I just wanted to give my thoughts on it as a whole, which my main thing was like, I'm glad that how the pacing was, it wasn't rushed. It gave you just enough, and it had a couple cliffhangers every now and then, but it gave you lead up to the next episode.
Right.
And they started where they stopped. So like if this episode stopped here, then it picked up there and then continued on.
Instead of jumping around to the next thing and then you had to come back to it halfway through the episode or something.
Yeah, and just like what happened there. Or how some of them do where it's like that is that jump, and you're like, what happened back there? And they do the flashback type thing. They do that. But no, this one was you stopped here, they picked it up here, and then they kept going.
Good.
And so I do like that. And like I said, I'm so surprised because if China would just let up a little bit on their censorship like they have, and just a little more, but I'm happy with what we got. I'm not complaining. They are in their bag with the series they could put out. They are in their bag. But I really enjoyed the series. I'm really happy. It was a happy surprise. Because Counterattack, again, like I said, that was like 2015. So like what, 10 years ago?
It was 10 years ago.
Yeah, like 10 years ago. So when I saw this, I was just like, this looks familiar. And then I read it, and there's like, adaptation from Counterattack. And I was like, I remember watching that a long time ago. Again, censored. It was censored like crazy, but we knew what was going on, So I was very happy to see that they actually completed the story, because I thought that was it.
And it was a direct pickup from Counterattack, or was it a restart?
But they just continued on past where Counterattack stopped.
Gotcha. I get the feeling that Counterattack stopped when the source material had reached its stop point at that point.
Maybe.
That happens a lot with shows like that.
No, I think it had a lot to do with the China censorship and to shut it down. So they stopped it where it was at, which was
that'll do it. Yeah.
When they got together and they just ended. Whereas this one, censorship is still there,
but far less than before.
Yeah, like this is boyfriend. There, like the kiss scenes like that. This isn't just my friend. This is my very dear friend. There was none of that. It was clear as day. I bet you won't type vibes off of them, right?
Okay.
And I love that for them. I love that for me too, and all the viewers that we appreciate it, because we've come a long way. And I'm hoping that they can continue on with it, because Revenge Love was a very good start to this ride they were on with C-dramas.
Right.
So if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. It is on Viki. I think it's on Gaga Ulala. This is so funny to say that. I believe it's on that one, but I know it's on Viki. I think it's on iQIYI, but I definitely know for certain that it's on Viki. That's where I watched it.
Shy messaged me when she said that the name of the website is called Gaga Ulala, and then we were just talking. Scam. We were talking about. Well, yeah, I could see it being a scam, but we were talking about how we were like, it sounds like the Lady Gaga song.
I'm pretty sure it is.
But no, I was like, no. It's that whole thing of people going Gaga over someone, and then that. Yeah. So that's where they're pulling it from. But
I'm pretty sure that has got to be a clip from her song. It has to be, but it's still the premise is there. But yeah, so if you haven't watched it, tell me your thoughts on it, because I really enjoyed watching the cast. They picked a very good cast for the show. The actors were phenomenal. The show was great as a whole. It was nice paced, and nothing felt rushed. If you felt anger at certain characters, that means they did their job. That's all I'm going to say, because when I first met that ex, I was like, why are you good looking? You get on my nerve.
They only pick the good looking people.
Well, you see he has a type. If you see the ex and she told me he had a type. But, that type softened his heart, because he would threaten the doctor and go, I can't take my anger out on him, but I can take my anger out on you. So I said, but yeah, if you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend. That is a very good C-drama to watch if you're into it. I think they did a really good job of the cast. Much love to all the cast members that played these characters. And I hope to see them in something else too. Not so much as this, but just in general in their career. So, yeah, that's all I got to do on my little review for Revenge Love. We'll see you next time.
Later.